Nityanandam, everyone. Back again for another video. And hopefully you can hear me because there's some work going on outside and I'm not sure how it's picking up, but hopefully you can hear me. So hope everyone watching is doing well and thriving and getting closer and closer to God, and just knowing that He's still in control despite everything that's happening in our world today. He's still on top of it and in control. So again, I start each video out with Nityanandam, which is a wish for you for eternal bliss. You know, that's what I wish for you, and in your life. So today is going to be a topic that I just feel like it needs to be addressed. I don't know what difference it will make for those who have made up their mind about things, but it needs to be said, because I think there's an epidemic going around where this topic is being tossed about. So I just want to kind of bring it back to its spiritual roots a little. This is just one segment of it, and the topic is the subtopic. It's not the specific topic that I want to talk about today, but it has to do with marriage. And is marriage still necessary, relevant, alive? There's just a lot of conversation about, they wait until I start to make a video to come closer and closer. There's a lot of conversation about women and men, and the state of women today, the state of men today. And I just think that it's such a huge topic, but I'm going to just take one little piece of it. But it's a topic that I like talking about, because I now know the truth and the purpose of the sanctity, the institution of marriage. And so, okay. It's my son sending me text messages. So this is just one piece of it. It's a topic that I could talk about forever, and hopefully will one day have an opportunity to have a discussion about, with varying opinions. But anyway, so my channel is about the real, and it's just my conversations with God. That's why it's titled Talking to Myself with God. God reveals things to me. I write them down and then I share them with you. So, and I have probably years worth, but this is actually a recent one. So I make a note of it. So I'm going to just read from my note that I wrote down and then talk about what it means. So it says, the title of this is, There is No Such Thing as a Gold Digger. So everybody remembers Kanye West's song Gold Digger. There's a lot of men, I don't know what, a lot is relative, but there are men who believe that there are no good women out here, and all women want is what they have, right? This was also prompted by me because there was a video made by another female of another race who made the comment that she had met a black man, and she was a white woman, and he happened at that time to be living in his car, but had I guess a vision, or I don't know, I don't want to call it a vision, but a dream, a plan, a dream, I don't know, of doing something, starting his own business. So she took him in, even though he didn't have a house or a home, because he was living in his car. And her comment that she said he told her was that black women didn't want any parts of him because black women want their men that they choose to come ready-made, without any work and already established, because we want whoever we choose to take care of them. So I'm not even going to break that down, but I do want to address it from one perspective, or marriage from one perspective, relationships from one perspective. So anyway, here's how it reads. It's not that women are gold diggers. No such term exists. These are God's words to me. These are conversations that I have with God. So it's not that women are gold diggers. This came after I watched this video of the woman that I just mentioned. It's not that women are gold diggers. No such term exists. It's that they are starving for the spiritual role of a man to provide and protect. So when you're starving, you try to stuff yourself because you don't know where your next meal is coming from. So if research were done, these quote unquote gold diggers had no feeding, provision, and protection, more than likely, by their fathers. So because of that, so I said, so men, again, if you and men had no, if you, the woman, and the man have had no training on the fact that men are spiritually to be providers and protectors, not just in money, but physically, spiritually, and emotionally, you're not going to understand where this woman is coming from, right? So you're going to think that she is aggressively pursuing someone to take care of her. So, and I also had this conversation with my husband, and it went something like this. When you see somebody who you think is aggressive in terms of wanting someone who is capable of taking care of them, what you have to know is, spiritually, men are put on this earth to build infrastructure, meaning that men are put on this earth to be providers and protectors of their women. Women are spiritually made to receive this provision, and protection. It's what they're seeking. They're seeking that provision, that protection, that safety that can only come from a man. Now, what that translates to is, let me just make this clear. So, what I am not saying is that women are to be subservient to men. That's not what I'm saying. I am not saying that women should not be educated. I have 3 degrees, one at the master's level, one at the doctorate level, one at the bachelor's level. I've held many, many, many positions. That's not what I'm saying. But if you go to the core of any woman, if you're able to break down that barrier, you will find a being that longs to be provided for and protected. A woman's role is to create, right? Creation means options. So if a woman has to go out and provide for the family, meaning that she's become a man, she's taken on the man's role, it's going to be harder and harder to get that woman to be in her creative space, in her soft space, right? So because that's what we crave to be in that soft space, but we've been put in a position where we don't get to live that out of necessity. And why that is a whole nother conversation. But I say that to say, because we have this innate need for provision and protection from a man, right? From the male being. When you have never had that safety, provision, and protection, which starts with your father, right? So whether he was there or absent, sometimes a man can be in the house, but it has the same effect as if he's absent, or worse than if he weren't there. But if you've never had that safety feeling, that providing protection, that hero feeling, then you're going to be hungry for that. Now, the female doesn't know why she's doing this either, right? You're going to be hungry for that, and you're starving for that. So you're going to go very aggressively after that. So if you have not eaten for 3 days and something is put in front of you that may be able to satisfy your hunger, you're going to go after it aggressively because you're looking to satisfy that need, right? So that is what the woman is doing. When you see her aggressive, when you see her making demands that are that seem excessive or that seem heightened, I'll use the word heightened, she's in a heightened state of the need for that provision and that protection, right? And so that is what is termed gold digger, right? This is if you look at the history of these women that you're calling gold diggers, I would be willing to say that there was probably not a man there as a father figure who made her feel safe, secure, provided for her and her mother and for her siblings and the family. Because if you have a female who had that positive male figure in their life, and I'm not talking about a perfect male figure, but one who was truly that provider, protector, and provided and protected her mother without abuse and whether it be physical, emotional, she's not going to be a gold digger. One, she has been able to provide and dig her own gold, right? So she's going to be, that need for provision and protection is going to be there, but she's not going to be as desperate for it. So she's not going to be as heightened in obtaining it, right? So when we throw these terms around like gold digger, we have to be very careful because we haven't dug deep, right? Dug deep like you do for gold. You haven't dug deep to figure out what's motivating that. So what that does is, because men don't understand women, what's motivating them to do certain things, and women don't understand men, what's motivating them to do other things, because we have to remember that men are in the same boat. They have not had the example of a man being a true provider and protector of their mother, of their families, of their siblings, of them. There or not there. So they don't know their role either for provider and protector. They don't know the true needs of a woman, right? to be made to feel safe. So all they see is this woman coming after them very, very aggressively, trying to fulfill this need. So, when you know the roles spiritually, which aren't meant to be limiting roles, and it's just to keep that woman in that creative space, whether she's creating an empire, creating their family. She's that creative energy. The man is physical. He is there to do the physical work. That doesn't mean that women can't go do physical work. That's not what I mean. We're not built spiritually that way, right? And men aren't built to be creative. That's not their true nature. They are here by God to build infrastructure, to do physical work, to physically provide for and protect the family. So, that is the origin, the reason, the source of this woman that you call a gold digger. So that was my word for the day. Hopefully it sparks some comments and conversation and enlightenment and just understanding, so that we can debunk this myth that marriages are impossible. There's no such thing as a happy marriage. Women are out to get what they can get and men are out to get what they can get. That's not marriage. So I pray that this helps someone. If it did, comment and let me know. And thank you guys for watching. Nityananda.